Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, I have been allotted 3 verses today from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 12, entitled The Killing of the Demon Aghasur. I have been allotted verses 1, 2, and 3. So, let's begin with verse number 1. I'll share my screen so we can all read Srimad Bhagavatam together. Text 1. Srila Shukdev Goswami is speaking to Prahlad Maharaj. Shri Shuka Uvacha Kvachid Vanashaya Mano Dadadvrajat Prata Samuthaya Vayasya Vatsapan Prabodhayan Shringaravena Charuna Vinirgato Vatsapura Saroharihi. Translations and purports are by our beloved founder Acharya, Shri Srimad Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Shukdev Goswami continued, O King Parikshit, one day Krishna decided to take his breakfast in the forest. Having risen early in the morning, he blew his bugle made of horn and woke all the cowherd boys and the calves with its beautiful sound. Then Krishna and the boys, keeping their respective groups of calves before them, proceeded from Vrajbhumi to the forest. So Krishna and his friends, along with their calves, they went to the forest, taking with them their lunch boxes, their picnic. Text number 2. Tenaeva sakam pratuka sahasrashaha snigdha sushigvetra vishana venavaha swan swan sahasro parisankhayan vitan vatsan puraskritya vinir yayurmuda. At that time, hundreds and thousands of cowherd boys came out of their respective homes in Vrajbhumi and joined Krishna, keeping before them their hundreds and thousands of groups of calves. The boys were very beautiful, and they were equipped with lunch bags, bugles, flutes, and sticks for controlling the calves. Text number 3. Krishna Vatsar Asankhyatar Yuthi Kritya Swavatsakan Charayantor Bhalilabhir Vijarus Tatra Tatraha. Along with the cowherd boys and their own groups of calves, Krishna came out with an unlimited number of calves assembled. Then all the boys began to sport in the forest in a greatly playful spirit. So these 3 verses are describing Krishna and his cowherd friends, the Gopas, along with their calves, going out into the forest of Vrindavan and enjoying their boyhood playful pastimes. This is called the Gocharan Leela, where Krishna takes his calves along with his friends to the forest on the pretext of grazing them in the forest, but they also have a lot of fun. They play, they eat their lunch in the forest, and they share great friendship with each other. Let's read Srila Prabhupada's purport. In this verse, the words Krishna Vatsair Asankhyataihi are significant. The word Asankhyat means unlimited. Krishna's calves were unlimited. Sankhya means to have a count or a number, and Asankhya means numberless, limitless. So Krishna's friends are described as unlimited, Asankhya. We may speak of hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions, trillions, tens of trillions, and so on. But when we go further to speak of numbers, impossible for us to count, we are speaking of unlimited numbers, asankhya. Such unlimited numbers are indicated here by the word asankhyātai. Krishna is unlimited. One of the names of Krishna is Ananta. So Krishna is Ananta, Krishna is unlimited, and Krishna's potency also is unlimited. Krishna's cows and calves are also unlimited because these cows and calves have manifested from Krishna's Leela Shakti, Krishna's pastime potency. Krishna is unlimited, his potency is unlimited, and therefore the manifestations of Krishna's potency, the cowherd boys and the calves and the cows, they are also unlimited. Krishna's cows and calves are unlimited, and Krishna's space is unlimited too. In this material world, everything is limited by time and space. We cannot do time travel. If I want to go back 100 years, I cannot do that. And everything is limited by space. We are a certain size and there is nothing we can do about it. If we forget the key to our house and we have to get inside the house, we have to call the locksmith. If we could make ourselves very tiny, like an ant, we could crawl right under the door, but we can't do that because in this material world, we are all limited by time and space. But Krishna is not limited by time and space. The material energy is restricted by time and space, but in the spiritual realm, there is no limitation of time and there is no limitation of space. Time and space have no jurisdiction over the spiritual domain. Hare Krishna. So Krishna's potency is unlimited and he's not limited by time and space. Therefore, Krishna is described in Bhagavad Gita as Parabrahman. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Ādi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. Krishna is described as Param Brahman. The word Brahman means unlimited and Krishna is the supremely unlimited. Param Brahman, Parabrahman. Therefore, we should not consider the statements of this verse to be mythology. This is not mythology. This is not an exaggeration. Krishna's friends, Krishna's cows and calves, Krishna's gopis, Krishna are not limited by numbers, not limited by time or space. They are limitless. Ananta. So this is not mythology. They are factual but inconceivable. Inconceivable because we can conceive things that are within the material realm. Because we have a material body, a material mind, and material experience. So our conceptions are within the material realm. But spiritual existence is beyond the material realm. And therefore, we cannot conceive of it. It is inconceivable, achintya. Krishna can accommodate an unlimited number of calves and an unlimited number of space. This is neither mythology nor false. But if we study Krishna's potency with our limited knowledge, that potency will never be possible to understand. See, if we try to understand Krishna with our limited intelligence, it's not going to be possible. Prabhupada says that potency will never be possible to understand because it is achintya. Ataha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grayam indriyaihi. This is a quotation from Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami, 1.2.109. Very famous verse. Ataha Shri Krishna, Krishna Nam, and Adi, etc. Na bhaved grahyam, we cannot understand it, indriyai, with our senses. We cannot understand Krishna, Krishna's name, Krishna's abode, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's associates through our material senses, which includes our mind. We cannot. Our senses cannot perceive how Krishna could keep an unlimited number of calves and cows and have unlimited space in which to do so. But this is answered in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Srila Sanatana Goswami. Evam Prabho Priyanam cha Dhamnascha samayasya cha avichintya prabha vatvad atra kinchin nadurghatam. Shri Sanatan Goswami in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita states that since everything about Krishna is unlimited, nothing is impossible for Krishna. It is in this sense that we have to understand this verse. Nothing is impossible for Krishna. End of purport. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, in these beautiful 3 verses that we read today from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th chapter, we saw how Krishna is so excited to go out every single day with his friends. There are no weekends off. There is no holiday. Every day, Krishna and his friends are so excited to go on play dates in the forest of Vrindavan. This forest of Vrindavan exists only to give pleasure to Krishna and Krishna's friends. And they go with their sticks in Vrindavan by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas. We are also here in Vrindavan Dham right now. And here we have to go around with sticks in our hand to scare the monkeys away. Otherwise, they are so naughty. What I saw today was unbelievable. We went to a place in a car and we were invited for prasad. And as we went inside, the monkeys attacked the car. And you know what they did? They ripped off the wipers of the car. And I was told that they even pull out the rubber padding around the glass panels and they start chewing on it. And they are just very naughty. And we saw one shopkeeper, he had his AirPods. Yes, AirPods in Vrindavan. He had his AirPods and he was listening to music, sitting in the shop. And he had like dozens of bananas right next to him. And he was engrossed in the music. Probably was listening to some kirtan or katha. And the monkey came right from behind him and took all the bananas. 2-3 monkeys came. They took all the bananas and they were going. And we were driving by. It was very slow because there's a lot of traffic. So we saw what was happening. And this shopkeeper was completely oblivious of what's happening. So we had to yell out to him, Prabhu, look, your bananas are gone. By the time he saw it was too late. So monkeys are very naughty. But these monkeys don't trouble Krishna and Balaram. They trouble us because we are not pure. Krishna keeps the dham very austere and difficult to live in. The weather is difficult. The resources are scarce. There is too much crowding, especially in the month of Karthik. And externally, there are so many difficulties in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And why is it so? Why isn't Vrindavan like we read in the scriptures? It is because Krishna wants to test us. If the Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham, is the way it is, crowded, now it's raining here since last 2 days and it's going to keep raining for the next 3 days. The house we are living in is leaking in 2 places. The kitchen is leaking, the bedroom is leaking. And so many difficulties. There is crowding, my electricity, I might lose power, by the way. So my internet will drop. So just hold on. I will try to join again if that happens. In the morning, it happened 3-4 times. So all these difficulties are there in the Dham. Why is it so? Because Krishna wants to test us. Radharani wants to test us. That if things are so austere, so difficult in the Dham, will you still come to the Dham or not? Or you will shy away from visiting the Dham because it's not comfortable. That is the test. So we should take it in that spirit. So anyway, Krishna also takes his stick with him, but that is simply to play with his calves, to keep them in control. And they have their bugle, which is made from buffalo horns, and they have their lunch boxes, and they go to the forest and they swim in the Yamuna. They have water sports. They play tag. They play hide and seek. They imitate the animals, and they sit down together, they eat their lunch. It's just so much fun. And this happens every day. And these are called Sakhya pastimes, Sakhya Leela, the friendship pastimes of Krishna. There are 5 main relationships we can have with Krishna. Shanta, also called as the relationship of neutrality, where there is complete love for Krishna and complete awe of Krishna's beauty and Krishna's sweetness. When that love condenses, it becomes Dasya, where we want to, now we just don't want to see the Lord with our eyes. We just don't want to behold the beauty of Krishna, but we want to render some practical service also. That's Dasya. When that love becomes more intimate, it becomes friendship, Sakhya. More intimate, then Krishna becomes subordinate to us, Vatsalya. And even more intimate, Krishna becomes one's life and soul, everything. There is nothing without Krishna. And that is Madhurya Prem, conjugal love. So what we are seeing in these 3 verses is the Sakhya Prem, the friendship with Krishna. And there are some acharyas in our line who are in this mood. For example, Gauridas Pandit. Shri Gauridas Pandit was an associate of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And he was in the Sakhya Bhav, in the mood of a cowherd friend of Krishna. And there have been some other acharyas also. But mainly most of the acharyas in our line are in the conjugal mood, in the relationship of Madhurya Prem, conjugal love with Radha and Krishna. But this relationship that we are discussing, the relationship of friendship with Krishna, is also very sweet. And the devotees who enter into this relationship of friendship with Krishna are also very, very exalted. My time is the India time, so let me see how much time we have. 7:35. So we have 10 minutes. So I would like to narrate to all of you a story from Bhaktamal, which shows us the glory of devotees who are in this relationship of friendship with Krishna. Many centuries ago, 3 or 4 centuries ago at least, in central India, there lived a boy whose name was Gopal. And his occupation was to take the cows of the village out in the forest to graze them. And in the evening, after they had grazed, he would bring them back. Such a person in Hindi is called Charvaha. So his name was Gopal Charvaha. And he did not have any cows of his own. He was an uneducated, very, very indigent, economically very impoverished person. And he did not even have any parents. His parents had died. And he was a young boy, a teenager, and he was left to fend for himself. And all he knew was to take the cows to the forest to graze them and bring them back safely. That's all he knew. So the big landowners in that village who had many cows, they did not have time to take the cows to graze every day in the forest. So they would employ someone like Gopal Charvaha. All right, I have got a dozen cows, take them to the forest, graze them nicely, and then bring them back in the evening. So he would do that. Gopal Charvaha. He would take many, many cows from the village, hundreds of them, take them in the forest, graze them, and then bring all of them back and deliver them to the respective owners. That was his occupation. And then he would go back and live in a small hut on the outskirts of the village. He did this for many years. He was uneducated. He could not read. He could not write. And he had very, very little money. For doing this service of taking the cows out in the forest for grazing, he would not get any money. Instead, the owners of those cows would give him a roti, a flatbread, or they would give him some sabji or some rice to eat. They would give him food. Sometimes they would give him a dhoti. So that's how he survived. He lived in a thatched hut on the outskirts of the village. He would get some clothes and he would get some food. He had no money. Very simple life. And he did this for many years. One day, there was a Bhagavad Saptaha in the village. Srimad Bhagavatam Katha for 1 week in the village. And he was uneducated. He couldn't read and write, but he thought, let me just listen for some time. And a pure devotee, a Bhagavad Acharya, expert on Srimad Bhagavatam, was speaking for 7 days, and he heard. And the episode that was being discussed was the pastime of Ajamil from the 6th canto. And there is a lot of stress in this pastime on chanting the holy name. And the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam was quoting many verses from Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd canto that speak about the importance of hearing and chanting. I will share my screen and show you some of the verses that were being discussed. Look at this verse, for example, chapter 3. This is the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sorry, beg your pardon, chapter 12. Chapter 12, canto 2. Both by rising and setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes time for discussing topics about Krishna, who is Uttama Shlok. Next verse. Do the trees not live? Do bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the beasts not eat and discharge semen? Men who are like dogs, hawks, camels, asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, the deliverer from all evils. So in this way, the importance of hearing, the importance of chanting was being discussed in those verses. And of course, the whole pastime of Ajamil is about the importance of the holy name. So after hearing this Bhagavad Katha, this Gopal Charvaha, he went to the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam and asked him, you said that we should chant the names of God. So which mantra should we chant? So this speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam told him, you can chant any name, but for Kali Yuga, the specifically recommended mantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you can chant this mantra. There are no qualifications required. Anyone can chant this mantra, and it is the most powerful mantra. So from that day on, this Gopal Charvaha, he started chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And because he was told there are no rules and regulations, he would chant it constantly. Constantly he would be chanting. All day he would be out in the forest, grazing the cows, the cattle, and he would keep chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. As a result, he was always blissful. Now, he was not the only Charvaha in the village. There were several other boys who did the same occupation. They would take people's cows out to graze. So they had some competition. So when they would meet in the forest, they would be taking care of their own herds, but they would talk in the forest. So now this Gopal Charvaha, who earlier used to chat with them, stopped talking to them because now he was busy chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So they asked him out of curiosity, hey Gopal, what's up? What's this thing you are murmuring? You're not talking to us anymore? So he says, no, I have heard in a Bhagavatam class that I should keep chanting all day. This is the best way to attain perfection in life. If I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will get God. I will attain God in this life. So they started laughing at him and making fun of him. They said, you don't even know how to read and write. You have not read the scriptures for yourself. How can you trust that man who came and spoke Bhagavad Sapta? How can you trust him? And how can you have so much faith in his words? How is it possible for you to attain God? You are not even born in a Brahmin family. You take care of the cows, then God will be pleased with you. In your next life, you will get the birth of a Shudra. You perform your duty as a Shudra, then you will become a Vaishya. Then in the next life, you will become a Kshatriya. Then in the next life, you may become a Brahman. And only Brahmins can go back to Godhead. We cannot. We are just outcasts. We are living practically out of the Varnashram system. We cannot get God. This is all nonsense, what you are doing. Now this Gopal Charva is an innocent little boy and he has some faith, and that faith was being attacked. You see, whenever a devotee, see, for a devotee, the most important thing is faith. Srila Rupa Goswami says in the 9 stages of Bhakti, the first stage is faith. Ādav Shraddha. Because of Shraddha, we go to Sadhu Sangha and we start doing Bhajan Kriya. Then Anartha Nivritti happens and ultimately we get Prem. Now his faith was being attacked. This is the greatest disservice one can do. And when a sincere devotee's faith is attacked, please listen carefully, this is very important. When a sincere devotee's faith is attacked, if the devotee is sincere, Krishna will make arrangements to protect that faith. As these boys were mocking him and making fun of him, a sadhu came by. A sadhu was traveling from one village to the other, and he overheard this conversation. So he went and he chastised those boys who were making fun of him. Hey, Run away from here. Go away. Don't disturb this little poor boy. He has faith. He's chanting. And he told him that, my dear boy, my dear Gopal Charvaha, you don't listen to these boys. They're antagonistic. They're atheists. You don't listen to them. You chant the holy name of Krishna and you will get Krishna in this lifetime. But there is a caveat to that. Gopal said, what? The sadhu said, you must have a guru. Without guru, you cannot get. You have to hear the mantra from the guru. The Bhagavat speaker gave you this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to plant the seed. But that seed will not sprout unless and until you are under the guidance of a guru. You must take initiation. And Srila Rupa Goswami confirms this. Out of the 64 limbs of bhakti, the first limb is Guru Padashraya. Then there is Guru Diksha. First, we have to take shelter of the spiritual master, and then we should receive initiation from the spiritual master. This is a must. So then this innocent Gopal, he told that sadhu, I don't know any guru. Can you accept me as your disciple? Can you give me initiation? The sadhu was very humble. He said, I am not qualified. But if you continue to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra sincerely, I promise you that Krishna will send a guru in your life. Please have faith. Krishna will send a guru in your life. And when you see that guru in your heart, you will know that he is my guru. Saying this, the sadhu left. He protected the faith of Gopal Charva and left. Gopal Charva became fearless now. Now, day and night, he would chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Incessantly, he would chant. And sure enough, few months later, a very great sadhu who also was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra came to that village. And as soon as Gopal Charva saw this sadhu, he immediately felt that I know this sadhu. It is as if I know him from my previous birth. It is as if he's mine. I have a relationship with him. And he immediately went and offered his obeisances to this sadhu. And this sadhu also was constantly chanting the same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is very important. We should chant the same mantra that our Guru Maharaj chants. Because unless and until the Guru has chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, tasted the nectar of that mantra, the Guru has no power to give that mantra to us. Only a Guru who has realized the deepest secrets of that particular mantra, until then the Guru cannot give that mantra to the disciple. That's why it is important to hear and receive the mantra from a pure devotee. So this Gopal Charvaha, he fell at the lotus feet of the sadhu and said, you are my spiritual master, please initiate me in the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The sadhu said, the purpose of my life is to serve everyone like you. I will certainly initiate you, but you have to follow the rules and regulations of Vaishnava culture. Because the Guru could see that this Gopal Charva was dirty. He had not taken bath in days. He had no Tulsi Kanthi Mala around his neck. He had no Vaishnava Tilak. So he thought, I don't know what this fellow will do, whether he has the qualifications to be a disciple or not. So he said, you have to follow rules and regulations of the Vaishnava culture, the Vaishnava lifestyle. Gopal Charva very candidly admitted his inability. He said, Gurudev, I cannot take a bath every day because I'm most of the time out in the forest. Sometimes there are rivers, sometimes there are no rivers. And I'm constantly looking after the cows. I'm very busy, man. I don't have time to go and take a bath. I'm very busy looking after so many cows, making sure they don't get mixed up because I have to return the cows to the individual owners. It's a very high stress job, Gurudev. I don't have time to take bath. Well, if you tell me that I have to sit down and wear a Brahmin thread and chant some Gayatri mantra, I cannot do that at specific times of the day because I may be busy at that time. So I cannot promise you that I will be able to do Gayatri 3 times a day. Gurudev, if you give me a deity to worship, I cannot promise you I can worship because I don't have a fixed place of residence. Where will I keep the deity? And I don't know all those mantras and mudras. So sorry, it's not for me. So I will not do Gayatri, I will not do deity worship, and I will not bathe. Other than this, you can tell me any rules of initiation and I will accept. And this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I'm already chanting and I will continue to chant it constantly. But don't tell me these 3 things. Don't tell me that I have to keep myself clean. I have to chant any mantras or I have to do deity worship. I cannot do all that. The Guru put his hand on his head. Oh my God, what kind of disciple is this? He doesn't want to follow. And the Gopal tells his Guru, and yes, Guru, I forgot to tell you, I'm illiterate. So don't tell me to read Bhagavatam. I cannot read. So I cannot do Swadhyaya, I cannot study the Vedic literatures, I cannot chant any confidential mantras, I cannot do deity worship. Oh, and I cannot go and live in a dham also, because I have to live here to earn my livelihood. The Guru said, oh my God, all the 5 limbs of bhakti this fellow cannot do. He doesn't have sadhu sangha. Mahaprabhu says there are 5 powerful limbs of bhakti. Sadhu sangha, nama kirtan, bhagavat shravan, mathuravasa shri murti ra shraddhaya sevan. Chanting the holy name, associating with devotees, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and studying Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in a holy place, and doing deity worship. And this Gopal Charva says, I cannot do 4 of these things. So, but please initiate me. So the Gurudev said, I cannot initiate you, because these 5 limbs of bhakti have to be done by every disciple. And you are saying you cannot do 4 of them, so I cannot initiate you. So Gopal Charva started crying. He started crying. He said, I was told by another sadhu that without a guru, I cannot get Krishna. And now you are refusing to accept me, so my life is useless. He started crying. The Gurudev thought that Gopal Charva wants to attain Krishna. He says, I want to attain Krishna. And this is the most important qualification, that a disciple has the eagerness to get Krishna. So he says, okay, I will initiate you. And I will give you only one rule to follow. Nothing else, not those things that you said you cannot do. I will tell you just one thing, but this you must follow, otherwise I will not initiate you. Gopal Charva said, I promise I will follow as long as it is not chanting confidential mantras, it is not reading Vedic scriptures, it is not staying in a holy place, it is not doing any of those things like deity worship. Guru said, no, it will be none of those things. You continue to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and I am only going to give you one additional rule at the time of initiation. And that is, first tell me, what do you eat? Gopal Charva says, sometimes I go without any food. If I find some fruits in the forest, I eat. But when I return the cows to the owners, they sometimes give me a roti and some buttermilk. So my diet is roti and chas, roti and buttermilk. So he says, okay, when you get roti and buttermilk, you sit down, you close your eyes, you fold your hands, and you pray to Krishna, that Krishna, this is all I have to offer you. Please come and eat this. And Krishna will accept. Krishna will accept. That is Krishna's promise in Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya parayashati. Krishna will accept it. And after Krishna has accepted it, only then you can honor it. Just follow this one rule, that you will only eat Krishna prasad. Only after Krishna has eaten, can you eat. Can you follow this one rule? He says, okay, Gurudev, this rule I can follow. I give you my word. I will follow this. I will not eat anything unless Krishna has eaten. Promise. But do you promise that Krishna will come and eat? Gurudev says, yes. If you offer with devotion, Krishna eats. It is Krishna's promise in Bhagavad Gita. So the disciple said, Gopal said, okay, from today I will do this. The Guru left. Gopal continued with his life. In the evening he came and he received some roti and chas. He was excited. Today I will follow the instructions of my Gurudev. He went under a tree, sat down, closed his eyes, and he said, Krishna, please come. I have got some roti and I have got some buttermilk for you. Please come and have this. And he's waiting. And he's so innocent, he thought Krishna will actually come. Gurudev said, Krishna will come. And Krishna did not come. So he did not eat. He said, Gurudev said, if Krishna doesn't accept, then you don't eat. So he said, I will not eat. Next day he took the cows for grazing. Evening he came back. And that day he didn't get anything from the owners. So he just collected some fruits and he offered the fruits to Krishna. Krishna, please come. Today I have only some fruits for you. Some apples and bananas. Please eat them. And Krishna did not come. He did not eat. Gopal said, I will not eat. I have given my word to my Gurudev that I will not eat unless Krishna has eaten it first. So he goes without food the second day also. In this way, 7 days go by. When Gopal Charva offers food, whatever he gets to Krishna, and Krishna doesn't come in a way that he is visible to us. And Gopal Charva is such an innocent fellow, he thinks Krishna will actually come, sit in front of me and eat what I'm offering him. So he goes without food and water. And 7 days is an awful long time to go without food and water. He became so weak that he could no longer take the cows to the forest. And he was simply lying under that tree, emaciated, dehydrated, and hungry. The villagers came to see him. And they kept some chapatis and buttermilk next to him and some water also. Said, hey, Gopal, come on, eat this. Gopal said, no, I cannot eat. They said, what happened? Is your health not good? Should we call some Vaidya, some Ayurvedic doctor for you? He said, no. There is no problem. But I cannot eat. So villagers also did not care much for him. They kept some food next to him and they left. because he had no family of his own. And he was just lying there. 3 more days went by, and Gopal was on the verge of death. And he was crying. He was saying, Gurudev, I have so much faith in you. You said that if I call Krishna sincerely, Krishna will come. I am calling, but Krishna is not coming, Gurudev. He did not come even once. Now I will die, but the only regret I have is you told me to feed Krishna, and I could not feed Krishna even once, Gurudev. That is my only regret in life. And I am dying without fulfilling your instructions to me. And late one evening, as Gopal was lying there practically lifeless, Krishna appeared. And Krishna spoke to Gopal Charva. Krishna was so beautiful. He had exactly the same description that we read in Srimad Bhagavatam. He was a young boy, 7 or 8 years old. He was wearing a yellow dhoti. He had a golden belt, a flute tucked in his belt. He has complexion like a rain-filled cloud. He was wearing a turban with peacock feathers. He had lotus eyes, bimba fruit like red lips. Very beautiful. His teeth were like rows of jasmine buds. Krishna, with a sweet smile on his face, told Gopal, hey Gopal, I am your Krishna. You misunderstood your spiritual master. Your spiritual master meant that you offer it to me and I will come in an invisible form and I can eat with my eyes. I will just look at your offering and I will accept it. And that is good enough. That's how I do for all the devotees all over the world. I don't come and eat like you humans do. I have already been accepting all the offerings you have been making to me because your Gurudev is very dear to me and you are very sincere. So no, don't worry. You get up and you eat. Gopal Charva said, I have heard that you are a trickster. You are a great trickster. And I have no faith in your words. My Gurudev never told me all this philosophy that you're speaking, that I can eat with my eyes. And no, I don't understand all that. My Gurudev said you will come and eat, so you better eat. So Krishna says, all right. So Krishna sits down and he eats roti. He drinks some buttermilk. He sips some water and says, see, now I have eaten. Now you also get up and eat. Gopal Charva said, I have no energy to get up. I have practically no energy. Krishna says, all right, I will feed you with my own hands. And Krishna takes water that he has tasted. It is Adharamrit. It is the nectar from his lips. Krishna feeds Gopal Charva. He takes some buttermilk, feeds him. He takes a roti, dips it in that buttermilk and puts it in Krishna's mouth, in Gopal Charva's mouth. And as soon as Gopal Charva tastes Krishna Prasad, his entire body is rejuvenated, becomes healthy, full of vitality and energy, and it sits up. And Krishna promises him, my dear Gopal, now every day you follow the instructions of your Guru, and every day throughout your life, as long as you're alive in this world, whenever you offer, I will actually come, sit with you, and we will eat together every day. And this is a fact. Gopal Charva, every day he would offer whatever roti and buttermilk he got, and Krishna would come and, like friends, just like we are reading in these verses, Krishna is going with his friends and having his picnic. Krishna actually had picnic every day with Gopal Charva and they would eat. And many years later, when this Gopal Charva left his body, Bhaktamal describes that he entered the eternal pastimes of Krishna as a cowherd friend of Krishna, as a Gopa, Sakha of Krishna. So this is the beauty of Bhakti. This is the beauty of the Sakhya Rasa that we are discussing today. All glories to the holy name, all glories to the month of Karthik, and all glories to all the devotees of Radha and Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Thank you very much, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu. Thank you very much. Okay, temple room. Questions, comments? Come up to the phone and speak if you can. Jai Sita. Hare Krishna.
A minute and a half. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for showing us your...
A little closer to the phone, Adi Purusha Prabhu.
Can you
like
hear me?
whisper in the phone, yeah.
Thank you for your smile. You see you're delighting in Krishna's loving exchanges. You know, this whole pastime of being in the forest, being with the cows, it's almost an alien culture to the way most people live now in the suburbs or in the city. We don't see the forest or the cows. But the most delightful aspect of that quality of life, certainly the air is fresh and the beautiful fragrances in the forest and the breezes and everything, was that they were with Krishna and they were trying to please Krishna. And that was their satisfaction. It's nice to remember that.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Without
Ādi.
doing something for love, it's a world without love if they're not actually doing. They were playing, and they were. These days, people, like, what do they call it? Yukta Vairagya. Nose to the grindstone, shoulder to the wheel. They go to work and then they come back on the weekend. They get drunk, and indulgence. They go back and forth between. But the the cowherd boys, their occupation, it was delightful in and of itself. They didn't need a vacation, like you said. They go every day. The Amish people, the way they punish their children, you know, they take away their chores. Now you don't get to milk the cows today, you know, because they're delighting in that service. So the cowherd boys were satisfied in serving Krishna. You want to say something? Come on. She's coming.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for giving class. I was engaged in other services, so I couldn't listen fully, but I heard the gist, and it just made me, this pastime makes me so grateful for Srila Prabhupada, because he did the same thing for us. You know, we said, I can't chant, 64 rounds, I can't do this, I can't do that, and he says, okay, what can you do? Just do that, and you will have Krishna in this life. And wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It's so beautiful.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. This was the best part of the class. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Patricia Prabhu. Sarmishta, unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful story. And I wish I could be like Gopal, so that मैं इतना मूर्ख होती तो शायद कृष्ण मेरे साथ भी आके प्रसाद पाते तो. And Prabhuji, I have a request that please pray for me so that I can also get my Gurudev as soon as possible. And Prabhuji, my question is, as you mentioned in the morning lecture, so can we also observe the Katyayani Vrat to get the love of Krishna?
Sripad Ayandar Prabhu did. So if one has that inclination, one may. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Can you explain the Vrat? So,
Angelica, is that you?
because I don't know what it means. Yes, I
You're breaking up, Angelica. Say it again,
didn't
please.
understand what kind of Vrat it was.
What kind of Vrat it was? Okay.
Katyayani Vrat. So it's a Vrat. It's a
Too. So I would like to just have a quick explanation and also add a comment.
yeah. So am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yeah. So Katyayani Vrat is a Vrat where we fast and observe austerities for a month in order to get Krishna as one's husband, or as in the conjugal mood, as one's lover. And for 1 month, it is a diet of just moong dal and rice with no spices at all, not even salt, not even turmeric, nothing, just plain moong dal for 1 month, and chanting and praying and bathing with cold water early in the morning, things like that. So it's a vrat. Hare Krishna. That's what it is.
Yeah, we see Bhima Prabhu is taking notes very carefully for that Vrata. Yeah.
Ayandar Prabhu did this vrat, Sripad Ayandar Prabhu.
Yeah.
He used to lose 10-15 pounds in a month.
So dal and cold shower, and Krishna is your husband right there.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Angelica, you had a comment, you said. You want to comment? Okay, she's probably busy doing her vrata. Would anyone else like to contribute to class? Unmute yourself.
I'm just worried that I'm breaking up, so please reflect how audible.
Yeah, Angelica,
Hare Krishna.
breaking up, Angelica. You're either in ecstasy or the connection is poor. We don't know. Okay.
Krishna, I do have a quick question. That pastime was so moving, and I would love to find it in English so I could read it again for myself. Do you know how we could find that?
Yes, this pastime is from a book authorized by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada called the Bhaktamal. There are two Bhaktamal. There is a Bengali Bhaktamal which is not bona fide. It has got misleading stories. And then there is the original Bhaktamal written almost 400-500 years ago by Sri Nabhadas ji. That is bona fide.
Chat. The link is in the chat.
Okay,
Yeah, the link you provided, Prabhu, is not in English. So.
Oh, what? You don't know Bengali?
The Bhaktamal that I have is a 4-volume Bhaktamal, very big book, and it is in Hindi. So I read the Hindi story and translated it into English for all of you. There is an English version of Bhaktamal also translated by Srila Prabhupada's disciples, but that is a highly abridged version. It doesn't have all the stories. So it's available in Ras Bihari Lal and Sons. If you type Ras Bihari Lal and Sons online bookstore, you will get it. It has got many stories, but not all stories. And they are in the abridged form, truncated form. Bhaktamal.
Bhaktamal. Thank you, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu. Okay, Seema Sinha, unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I have a question. Today is Sharad Purnima also. So it's custom that we make a sweet rice. So should we offer before putting under the moonlight, or next morning should be offered to the Krishna, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
You can offer it. You can offer it in the evening, and you can remove the offering in the morning after the Ras Leela has taken place. So like that, you can offer it at night and remove it in the morning.
But usually we put it under the sun rays, moon rays, Prabhuji, in the night. So after offering to God, we should put it outside the balcony or the outside area to.
No, so that is done by the karma kandis, those who are after fruitive results. That is Kojagiri Purnima. They offer it to the moon, but in our Gaudiya line, we don't offer it to the moon. We offer it to the moon of the moons, Krishna Chandra and Radharani, who is Chandranana, who is moon-faced. So you offer it to Radha and Krishna in your house, and your meditation should be that tonight they are having Ras Leela, and you remove the offering in the morning. Offer it to Radha and Krishna.
The moon of the moons. That's ours. That's the process. Okay. Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu, can you tell us, describe to us the significance of and the glories of the month of Karthik? Just maybe briefly.
Hare Krishna. So there is you can type, there is a lecture by His Grace Amarendra Prabhu called exactly that, Glories of Karthik. And you can hear that class. It's a 1-hour-long class. But the month of Karthik is exactly what you said, Prabhuji, in the beginning. It's the month where the worshipable deity, the Adhishtatri Devi, is Srimati Radharani. This month is very, very dear to Lord Damodar because it is meant to worship Srimati Radharani. So every day we should try to chant little extra rounds, maybe one extra round. If we are doing 16, we can do 17 or 18 rounds. If we are doing 4 rounds, we can do 5 or 6 rounds, little extra than what we usually do. We should wake up in the morning and we should take a shower during the Brahma Muhurta and chant the rounds in the morning. We can get into that habit this month of chanting our rounds in the morning, specifically between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. That is the golden period of the day. And also this month we should observe strict celibacy. We should not eat in restaurants because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Vishayra anna khaile dushta haile man. Dushtamana haile nahi Krishna rasmaran. If we eat food cooked by non-devotees, our mind gets polluted, and with a polluted mind, we cannot think of Krishna. So this month, we should take a vow that I will only eat Krishna Prasad. Number 1, I will remain celibate. Number 2, I will wake up in the morning and take a shower. Doesn't have to be with cold water. Shower in the morning, and I will chant my rounds in the morning, and I will chant some extra rounds. And number 4, we should chant Damodarashtakam. We should sing Damodarashtakam every day and offer a ghee lamp to Radha and Krishna. And we should pray for purification. What should be our mood praying in Karthik? Our prayer should be for purification and to get pure love for Radha and Krishna. Just like Srila Prabhupada taught us the meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna is Radha Krishna, Hare Ram is Radha Raman. And our prayer is, my dear Radharani and my dear Krishna, please engage me in your eternal loving devotional service. That is the most perfect prayer. So we should pray like that in this month. Hare Krishna.
Nice. Thank you very much.